So what was the second thing we're going to talk about today? Early response. So even when you do everything right, things can still go sideways. But what separates closers from the rest is how quickly they respond. One of the first lessons I learned in this business is that when radio silence, all hell is about to break loose. Second, a lender, I'm representing a buyer and they're using a random lender. And the second they don't return my call, the buyer is blowing up their phone and bet you that is all part of my consultation. Because that right there is the sign that all hell's about to break loose. It's not that they're busy. No, they don't know what to say. And they don't want the venom of the scenario. So that's why early response is our power. Our ability to stay ahead and keep everyone calm. What is this separator I'm saying here is simply that we quickly respond, and the agent who waits to respond loses. They lose because we lose credibility. We lose negotiation power. We lose camaraderie. And now we're fighting just to have a normal conversation, which is not a place that we want to be to close a shit ton of business. When we act early, we protect the deal. Early response, if we were to reduce it to the least common denominator, is communication. A skill that unfortunately different generations are having a little more trouble than others. Just saying. And please, guys, don't negotiate via text. For the love of God, don't. Please, talk on the phone. And negotiate. Use your power of words and persuasion and learn how the game works. I promise you, more shit will go sideways with you texting and trying to negotiate shit sideways. No, get on the phone and talk. It's your power. I promise. You can follow up with a text with what you guys talked about, but this is how you keep deals together. You talk. Two people working together to keep a deal together, not texting and losing track of emotion. If we're talking about communication, here's a couple tactics under communication. Number one, weekly check-ins. You and your TC. Your TC more than you, but you have to stay plugged in this part of the game. And trust me, my middle name is leverage. My assistant of 13 years has some choice words about that. And yet, we have to. Yes, we have a TC. We have to stay involved. We have to let everyone know their DNA is still on this transaction. But we absolutely delegate all of everything else. Contract to close. In these check-ins with your client and your vendors, confirm what got done and never assume it did by asking, what's the next step? What's happening? What can you tell me about that? Tell me more about that. You getting blindsided because you trust someone inside your organization arm's length is when these get loud and now you're chasing versus early response. I'm staying on this for a minute because again, if there's anyone who leverages everything, it's me. And this is our secret. This is the power, is your ability to get ahead of the problems because you're touching in and you know what's going on. A key piece of this is have a war board. Have a board where you got all your dates and you can visually see it. You're not going, yes, it could be online. It could be online. And so when you walk in, you're like, all right, so it's Monday. Wednesday's our deadline. Today, I have to see where all this is. Because one of two things has happened. We're sending a cancellation or we're extending because we got things we're doing this week. This is what I mean by early response. You're literally a captain of what's happening so you can get ahead of the drama. I want you guys to think of a stoplight. Green, we're good. Everything, I think the kids say we're Gucci. Yellow is, all right, we need to be conscious about this. There probably should be a check-in every day, and I have to start to feel good about this. Or we immediately flow into red. So red, all hands on deck. Mayday, mayday, mayday. If you got a TC, they're calling you 3 times a day with an update. Not, oh, I text them. No, how many times did you call them? How many messages did you leave? And I shouldn't have to ask you this ever again. You should be absolutely getting ahead of this. That's red. We don't ever want to be there. That is, a cancellation is coming or we're waiting on an extension, in the next 24, 48 hours. So red, we never want to be, but we will be more than we'd like to admit. But this visualization, your sixth sense is gonna be from green to yellow, and how your systems can intensify to communicate with all your vendors and help you sleep at night. Which I use the word there, that's very, very important. Your vendors. This all becomes a crapshoot when you're dealing with 6 different lenders, 7 title companies, and your TC has to build a relationship and get validity in each one of those, which is where the skill of getting your people involved on almost every transaction is how you close 100 transactions, 150 transactions, because you have consistency in behavior. This right here is a non-negotiable of how your TC, your agents, and you should behave, and get your threshold of where green goes to yellow and where you're like, all right, I'm getting my prospecting in, and then these are what I absolutely have to get handled. Answers, or we're sending cancellations, or wherever that whole conversation needs to go. Does this make sense on the what yellow to red? I mean, it's Mayday, Mayday. Everyone's feeling your wrath because we've got you. We never want to go, oh, everything's great, and we're red, and it's all like we just got hit with a torpedo. That should never happen. The yellow is so important because everyone's feeling the intensity rise by every 12 to 24 hours. It's like, all right, well, we didn't hit this benchmark. They said we were going to have an update tomorrow. What time tomorrow are we having an update? It's not we're getting an update tomorrow. It's what time tomorrow are you giving me an update? 11. Is it going to be 11 or is it going to be closer to 12? If I do not have a call at 12, you're having a cancellation across your desk. So is it going to be 11 or is it going to be 12? That's this. Always get clarity. That's where I kind of wanted that to go. But the clarity I mean is, you're not going to call me tomorrow. You're going to call me at a certain time tomorrow, and it better happen. And if we don't, the client who hired them is getting that venom. And you're making sure they know this is their bet. They chose to use that vendor. They're feeling all of this because you're feeling it. And again, it's not bad service. It's they made that choice. And part of your consultation is the value of using your preferred lenders. And the moment theirs are in quicksand, they need to feel it. And they need to act so that you can still stay focused on what you need to do, which is close transactions. And they're the ones that are now bringing the energy to their vendor that they chose to use, whether it's title or mortgage. And again, if you want to close 2 transactions a month, none of this matters. If your goal is to close 8, 15, 20, this all matters.